Yo, top Billin. Man, this is why I absolutely love the NFL. Although my media career 8 years ago, well, actually it was started in the NFL, but it really cultivated itself with college football. At heart, I'm always a professional football guy because I love the unpredictability of the NFL. Man, come on, this is Friday, a Friday news dump day. Usually you do business on a Friday if you're trying to hide something or you're trying to get off on somebody or you want something to be dampened over the weekend. And man, on a freaking Friday, a major shakeup in the NFL draft. The 49ers come into play. The 49ers, in my opinion, I've said this time and time again, one of the best rosters in the entire league. They are built to win a championship right now. But that doesn't stop them from thinking about their future as well. So check this out right here, and we'll talk about this. There's a whole bunch of different layers here to talk about, man. Strap in. Let's get it. All right, so first of all, your boy Adam Schefter here, as always, on fire, man. Shouts to Adam Schefter. He is the absolute truth as far as delivering the news. He ain't the truth with podcasts and stuff like that, though, but we'll say that for another day. Adam Schefter, man, he's reported that the Dolphins are trading the number 3 overall pick to the San Francisco 49ers for the number 12 pick. What turned out to be, I believe, a 2022 third-round pick. This is coming as it goes or whatever like that. So he's having to come back and reshape the narrative and reshape the stuff that he said. So it's all good right here. Please don't come here and be like, oh, actually, Murph, that 2022 pick was actually, like, shut the fuck up. Like, relax. It's not that serious, right? So you get the gist of that, right? Dolphins trading out of that third slot. What did I say if you've been watching the channel? Just me with my Think Like a GM series is always the top 3 to 5 selections are meant for premium positions. If you don't have a need at a premium position, you don't need to pick there. You need to accumulate assets. What? The Miami Dolphins are right now, to me, are on fire. They're looking like one of these next great teams in the NFL. They are running their organization to a T. They're trading out of there. It looks like no matter what the chatter is or whatever like that, they feel like they have their quarterback of the future in Tua Tagovailoa, and the Samoan sniper himself. He will be much improved next season. I can promise you that. You get that man some talent, get him some offensive line play, right? Have him not throwing the B and C receivers, get him some actual protection. He is fine. Like, people need to quit with this premature evaluation shit and actually learn the fabric of the game, right? And stop comparing everybody. Not everybody's in the same situation. You can't compare somebody who's throwing to a whole bunch of number 1 receivers and then compare him to a guy who's throwing to a bunch of B receivers, not being protected and doesn't have a premium run game that people have to worry about. And they're just in their first 9 starts coming off of a damn major surgery. And 9 starts, you're definitively speaking on them. That's why these guys are pros. At the very least, we know they're not drafting a quarterback number 3 overall. However, right, coming on with that, and then they come back and the Dolphins end up jumping back in the mix with the Philadelphia Eagles right here. So that number 12 pick, they take Philly's spot, which is number 6. And that's a great place to select a target. Meaning, if you're the Dolphins, man, Kyle Pitts is probably right there, perhaps. Of course, one of your top receivers is going to be right there, whether it be Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase, whomever, Jalen Waddle, whomever you want to get at that selection. That's a little bit more of a value. So you accumulate picks in the future, you trade back, and then you trade one of those future picks like that just to move back in. That is some wheeling and dealing type shit. They're doing their thing over there in Miami, man. Much props and much salute to that. So what does that mean for the draft right there? Obviously, we know Trevor Lawrence is going to 1. So the way I'm looking at this is just my football brain right here. If you're the San Francisco 49ers, you exhaust all options. Maybe you call Jacksonville just to see if you could get a Trevor Lawrence and they're like, no, thank you, or whatever like that. I saw the reports that Urban Meyer's not even at Zack Wilson's pro day. So it lets you know that they're locked in with your boy Trevor Lawrence, as we would think, or it could be a smokescreen. You just never know. I remember when everyone thought Sam Darnold was going number 1 and Baker Mayfield ended up going number 1. And at the time, people were pissed and said that the Browns made a mistake and all this and that. Now people are the other way. They're like, oh, Sam Darnold sucks. You gotta move on from him. Speaking of, That also lets me know that the New York Jets are probably moving on from Sam Darnold as well, because that would be the team that you would concentrate on, because then you could shape your own narrative. You would essentially start the draft at number 2, because if you know Trevor Lawrence is going number 1, you would have your pick of the litter of the rest of the quarterbacks. So that means they called the New York Jets and they were like, you know what, nah, we're good. We're going to pick a quarterback too. We want to have our pick of the litter. Miami sitting good at 3rd, don't need a quarterback. You got Tua Tagovailoa, who at one particular point in time, people were saying he was generational, this and that. Oh, yeah, it was just, 11 months ago, right around this time last year. Strange how that happens, but so you don't need a quarterback there. Boom, there you go right there. So is that the first 3 picks? We know the first 3 picks right there are quarterbacks, in my opinion, or in my estimation, because of how that worked out right there. The Jets saying, no, we can't do it. Dolphins don't need one. San Francisco definitely not going up there to select any other player. There's no other premium players there except a guy like Penei Sewell. However, they signed your boy Trent Williams to a long-term deal in San Francisco, a big money deal there. You have Mike McGlinchey on the other side, probably not going up to pick an offensive tackle. Or if that was the case, you could probably have stayed where they were originally and gotten a pretty good offensive lineman there. So they're targeting a quarterback for the future. What does that mean for Jimmy Garoppolo right now? My first thought was, all right, he's gone. Then I started thinking about it. I'm like, nah, San Francisco can win the Super Bowl next season. They are that good to me. You're not going to win a Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback. I'm sorry. Please show me where a rookie quarterback has won the Super Bowl, no matter how good the team is. There are other teams out here on scholarship too, right? They're going to be playing some football. You're not going to win. You can't never say never, but the chances are you're not going to win with their first-year starting quarterback. And if you look at these individual quarterbacks, to me, they're going to come with some warts. The wart being a lot of these guys just don't have the necessary playing time, or they don't have the level of competition to where you would step in right away in the NFL. Even a guy as talented as Josh Allen, right? Even though he wasn't on a team as good as the 49ers, still, you can see how great he is now. Him coming from that level of competition. If they were to somehow end up with a Zack Wilson, I still think it would be tough for them to win the Super Bowl with Zack Wilson. Jimmy Garoppolo, at the very least, we know they went to the Super Bowl with, and they were winning that bitch too. Maybe they didn't seal the deal. That's what's up. But you know, at the very least, you had a chance to win the Super Bowl with this guy. You have him under contract at least for a year. Maybe they roll the dice and pretend like they're not going to trade Jimmy G here, because I think that's what Adam Schefter actually said. He said that, look, right here, 49ers source today, Jimmy is here to stay. He's our guy this year. So you hear that operative word right there? There's a qualifier there. This year. That phrase right there, this year. So they're running with that. That's what I said with the majority of these quarterbacks. I feel like all of these quarterbacks should sit a year that's not named Trevor Lawrence. Or at the very least, they should be worked in the latter part of the year like the Dolphins did Tua. Tua was another guy although he played in a lot of big games, he didn't have a lot of starts. 1 season and a half, maybe a little bit more than a half at the past the LSU game. I forget which game he got in. Was it Mississippi State or one of those games, Arkansas or something like that? Not a full 2 years of starting and not maybe 500 attempts. You got to have at least 500 attempts. If you go with Trey Lance, the man has like 13 or 14 total starts or something like that. And he plays at North Dakota State. He's going to need a year to adjust if you want him to hit the ground running, because if you look at the landscape today, people aren't giving these kids enough time. Too many premature evaluators, too many dumbasses on the internet that have never snapped on or strapped on a pad that didn't say Playtex on it or something like that, and they think that you're supposed to be a Super Bowl MVP your first year. You're not allowed to perform at a rookie level. That's just the nature of the beast with social media and stuff these days. And then these people right here calling themselves professionals, and they're acting like fans. You can't have fan opinions and call yourself a professional. You have to be able to understand the fabric of the sport. Give these guys some time, and then we'll see. At least 3 seasons. So, although I don't like the Sam Darnold thing, I can understand, right? They gave him 3 seasons. But 1 season for a Tua and only 9 starts at that, in a COVID-impacted offseason year with no talent and stuff like that, to me, that's crazy. That's crazy talk. Same thing with Daniel Jones. 2 seasons, and one of his seasons was really good with the New York Giants. Crazy talk. Give him, man, at least 3 seasons, then we'll go. Back in the day, they didn't even let you see the field your first couple of seasons. And then guys like Peyton Manning throwing 28 interceptions as a rookie, nobody batted an eye. Brett Favre, nobody batting an eye. It's just what it was. They expected you to be a rookie, and those guys were coming in the league with 3 and 4 years worth of starting experience. These days, these guys are coming out early, don't have the requisite attempts, and played in different schemes, probably elementary style schemes and stuff like that, having to adjust to a San Francisco type offense, West Coast tried and true type offense. It's a big deal. It's a big difference. So that leads me right to the 4th pick. Did they call the Falcons? Maybe the Falcons at 4, maybe they're like, oh, we can just have whichever quarterback is left over. Maybe the Falcons like, you know what, we're not budging. We'll take whatever quarterback comes. So maybe they're looking for the future too, just like San Francisco. You know, there's a little bit of a relationship there with Kyle Shanahan being in that organization and being the offensive coordinator when they went to the Super Bowl. So maybe they're like, hey, so that could be a thing for the Falcons as well. Like, all right, we got Matt Ryan for the next year. We could pick our guy for the future. Whichever one lands in our lap, we're cool with it, whether it be Zack Wilson, Justin Fields, or Trey Lance. If I'm the Falcons, though, I would trade back. Matt Ryan has a few years left. If you just wanted a quarterback, maybe you go and get a Mac Jones or something like that if you trade it back and you accumulated more picks. But it is what it is on that front. They can do what they want to do there. So with the Dolphins, though, at number 6, like I said before, whatever target is there, they should be good with. They can go a number of ways there. They just know they need offensive help. If I were them, I would be looking in the offensive line. Maybe you mess around and the Bengals at number 5 grab a Kyle Pitts. And if you have Penei Sewell on your team, man, that's how you protect your quarterback. There are plenty of receivers in this draft. I don't know why people think you have to have a Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith. Chances are they're going to be 2 or 3 wide receivers that are going to perform just like those guys. It happens every year. Jerry Jeudy, we got to talk about Jerry Jeudy. We got to talk about CeeDee Lamb. We got to talk about all these guys, and they did well. But they didn't do what Justin Jefferson did. Right? Brandon Ayuk showed himself to be very good. You can go on down to Chicago, had a guy nobody was talking about, Mooney, I forget, Daryl Mooney or something like that. The guy was balling. He was balling just like those other guys. Receivers are a dime a dozen, in my opinion. You only need to reach for somebody like that if there's some kind of big, crazy freak like a Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones type. Other than that, man, 6-foot receivers and stuff like that, I wouldn't necessarily just reach for them. If they fall into your lap or whatever like that, and they're very good like a Devontae Smith and Jamar Chase is, don't get me wrong, those guys are good. But you don't have to go outside of yourself for those type of receivers. Just look at the landscape of the NFL. All the top receivers are usually picked in the 2nd round or beyond. Yeah, you can just name up and down. I've already done this before, so check that particular content item out right there. But this is awesome, man. This is some really exciting stuff right there. I would like to know you guys' opinions of where these guys are going to go. If you're San Francisco, which quarterback do you take? You're going to have to take whatever is left over from the Jets, right? So chances are if they pick Zack Wilson, what would you do between Trey Lance and Justin Fields? I want to know right there. In my opinion, I would go with Trey Lance because Trey Lance, you can, if you're going to sit him a year, maybe the upside is higher because he played in that same style of offense. He's got the back to the basket play action fakes and everything down. I don't know. That's a tough one, man. Justin Fields, Trey Lance, 6 in one hand, half a dozen on the other. I don't know. That's a tough one right there, man. I hate to make that decision right there. You probably can't go wrong with either one. So, I don't know. I probably changed my mind 15 different times thinking about Trey Lance versus Justin Fields, especially if the goal is to sit one for a year. Maybe Trey Lance has the higher upside because he has less starts, played at a smaller school, and has the same type of tools Justin Fields has, and he gets to sit for a year and learn from a Jimmy Garoppolo and gets to learn from Kyle Shanahan. I don't know. I like that particular one right there, but Justin Fields looks like a monster himself. So let me know how you would go with that top billing, man. I'm interested to see what you guys are thinking about. It's your boy Murph, the Underground King. Make sure you support quality content so we can keep this thing rolling right here, baby, on top billing. We continue to grow like weeds. You know what I mean? So I don't have to sell no weed. You know what I mean? Keep your boy right here safe and in the office. Don't keep me on the other side, right? Hard like prison bars, baby. Boy, top billing. Make sure you support. Make sure you subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And I am out.
more can I say?
Top Billin.